Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So you guys asked me what is the scariest place that I've done an investigation at, and that would definitely have to be the Madison Seminary episode. Now I get this question a lot, so I am actually going to be talking about some of the things that happened both on and off camera today. And if you guys remember correctly, I actually didn't do that investigation alone. So I was with my partner Sabrina. Now she investigates with me a lot, but she doesn't do it anymore because I am now 6 hours away from her. We're gonna be doing a Zoom call together, and we are just gonna be going over some of the things that happened both at the location and kind of off the location, and things that you might not have seen or maybe you didn't catch, and things that happened behind the scenes. So I'm excited to call her today because I haven't really talked to her. I've talked to her through text, but I haven't really seen her and chatted with her. But let's get started. What is it like? This kind of seems kind of weird. What is it like to film with me? If you would have to explain it.
It's fun, can be chaotic with us.
Yes.
We could be going from the first floor to the third floor, back to the first, like we did at Madison, quite a lot. Or it's fun running behind you, except for steps.
Yeah.
Steps are the worst.
Steps suck.
Or like when I hear stuff behind me and I know you're in front of me, so it can't be you. That's also not fun.
Yeah, not fun. Yeah, and I'm very spur of the moment.
You are.
Let's go here. Let's go here.
It's like, oh, we're on the other side of property. Let's go.
Yeah, because sometimes I don't have a solid plan. And I think that's kind of how Madison Seminary went, was there really was no solid plan.
No, we just sort of went for it. I think I looked up some history in the car, but I couldn't find much. And we're whenever we get there, we're just going to go for it and see how it goes.
And I remember us talking about it in the car, because I had been there once to meet Nick Groff, but when I had gone, it wasn't scary because there was 30 other people there.
Yeah.
So I had never experienced being in the building alone. And that is quite different than being with a bunch of people in the building. What do you remember about the beginning of that investigation?
Oh, the beginning of it. Our guy got lit on the store side. I remember that during the tour. We thought we caught a couple things during the tour, and then you were very confused and out of it. Your finger felt like you got stabbed by glass.
I remember that.
Which I was like, that's weird. There's no glass here.
Yeah.
And then which led up to the terrible Sarah on the third floor.
Yeah.
And from that, it was just chaos.
Yeah, I definitely remember being on the tour and not really being scared. A lot of the places that we go to, you're not really scared while you're there.
Absolutely not.
And we had done the tour and everything was perfectly fine. I really didn't feel anything. But yeah, our flashlights kept dying.
Oh yeah, the flashlights.
Yeah, they kept malfunctioning, and I have no clue why. And we went through we had 4 or 5. We always do. And none of them were working properly, which was really weird to me because it normally doesn't happen. And then, so we did the tour, and the tour was pretty long. It had a lot of history.
Yeah.
And then right afterwards, so normally what we do is we'll kind of set up some static cams or figure out what we're going to do. I know that we decided that we were going to go to the 4th floor where the asylum was and at least set up a camera. I don't remember exactly what we were going to do, but
I think we were setting up the camera towards that weird doll because we were hoping it was going to move or do something. So I remember watching 30 minutes of footage of just the doll waiting for it to move, and it never did.
Yeah, the one in the wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were setting up the camera, and the whole night. Okay, so you refused to say the name Sarah.
No, I still don't. I still don't.
You wouldn't say it. So anytime that you asked about it, you were like
Voldemort.
You know who. So I remember that we were talking about Sarah, or you had at least asked me while I was setting up the camera. So we're not recording at this point. And the floor is made out of wood, and all of a sudden you just hear thumping, running towards us. And we both look up and we're like, what the hell is that? So you remember that?
I vividly remember because it ran up and whispered in my ear.
But do you know what it said?
It said run. which we don't run. We don't run here, so.
No, we normally don't.
No.
But I just remember being like, wow, that's super crazy. I just remember like feeling like rushed at, like charged at, like get out kind of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm trying to like fumble around and start recording because shit's already happening and I'm not recording. So I tried to turn on my GoPro cam, which is the full spectrum one. And it said card full or like card locked or something like that. Like it wasn't working. And I always check my cards prior to going to the location. So that way I can hurry up and start recording if I need to. So I thought that that was really weird. And I was like, I have no camera. We have no camera. And I think that's when I started panicking is because I really wanted to document like what was going on, but I had nothing with me.
Yeah, all we had was the EVP going, and that was just it. So
we were like, what do we do? What do we do? And I think at some point, one of us said, let's just go back downstairs. Let's go to the car, get a new SD card, like try to figure it out. And we had gone down there. And I left my SD card on the top of my car because I was so like distraught with everything that was going on, which is crazy. So we figure it out. We're like, let's go back in. It'll be fine. I don't think we've ever had to walk out of a location and like collect ourselves.
West Virginia, the first time we went there, like we were like, we need to go outside and sit down because it's just too much.
Yeah, because they had that. They have that section outside, and we did go out and sit because we were like, "What the hell?
It's heavy. Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah, because West Virginia was one of those places where I was like, "Dude, like we're out of our league." Like
we were so confident going in, though. Yeah. We're like, got this.
I was like, "Wow." West Virginia totally like spanked us.
It did. It really did.
So we go downstairs, we collect ourselves. I leave my SD card on my car.
Yeah.
We had some footage from a previous investigation. I think it had some footage from Twin City Opera House. I actually caught some sort of like an anomaly. Do you remember me sending that to you?
Yes, I do.
Where I was sitting in a chair and like there was a ball of light or something that came and like went over me, and I thought it was super cool, but I left the SD card. And it had rained that night, so even if they did find it, it was probably destroyed. Yeah. So I was upset about that. But anyway, I didn't even realize that till after we left. So we go back upstairs, and that's when I turn on the full spectrum camera and I start explaining. But I don't know if people really understood what I was saying because I was probably talking really fast and like not explaining properly, maybe. I don't know. But I remember just saying that I was so confused that most of the time that I was there, I was confused about like what was going on or what was being said through the spirit box. Like I just felt very disoriented for a majority of the time that I was there. And
I remember recording you in Sarah's room, and like your face, you're just not there. Like
I know you
absolutely gone. And I was just
said that like you were starting to get nervous because I didn't seem like myself, but I don't ever remember not being myself. But I also don't really remember too much of what happened, like in between the crazy spirit box session that we had and then the time when the raccoon or whatever was scratching on the wall.
Oh my God, no. That's like most of the time there, Amber.
I know. And that's why I'm like, do I really not know what happened? So anyway, so that's when we go back upstairs and we set everything up. And we start the spirit box session. And do you remember how you felt when you were sitting there listening to everything that was happening?
I was utterly terrified, especially like the way we were phrasing the questions and it was responding with the name. I did not enjoy that one bit. And it wasn't a girl. It was not a child. It was a grown, scary man thing. And
it was, yeah.
I was not enjoying that. And then I looked at you and you looked like you were ready to bolt, which scared me because like you don't run. I was like, if Amber's running, I'm gonna have to run.
Yeah, because I definitely felt like I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I really get that too much. It's very rare that I feel like I want to like run. So there was definitely a moment there when I was like, I gotta fucking get out of here because there's just too much going on, and like the crazy intelligent responses that we are receiving are just It's too smart. It knows what we're talking about. I can't deal with that. And that was scary to me.
I think at one point we were ready to like turn off the cameras and you were like, I'm not moving from here. So I had to turn off the cameras because you weren't gonna move.
Yeah, I think I asked
Amber.
I was like, can you
The
grab
twins
that
go away.
camera? Because I was so afraid of seeing the twins for some reason. Like in my mind, I just pictured two twins like peeking out of the door, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not seeing twins today. Like
let's make her see them.
Yeah. And then during that spirit box session, so the crazy part was you asked me about Sarah once again, and you said you know who, and then it said Sarah on the spirit box a couple different times, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I do believe that I was sitting across from that weird like mind control room.
Yes, you were.
And I saw a shadow go across the doorway, and I was like, and I actually like scooted so that way I wouldn't have to see it anymore. And I don't know if you could hear me like say it like in the video, but I definitely, the video wasn't that great because like I wasn't very good at editing.
You were still learning how to do everything.
Yeah, that was very early days, so I kind of regret that, but it was a crazy investigation.
It really was. And just like, even like we're like, where should we go next? And it said Sarah's room. And we were like, okay, let's go.
Let's go to Sarah's room. Now I remember being in Sarah's room, and I think, was it you or was it me that got a headache like in the dead center of the forehead? It was me, right?
It was you. Everything was attacking you that night for once.
Yeah, which isn't normal because normally it goes after you.
It does.
So I had like this major headache in the center of my forehead. Now, I don't know if that made it into the episode or not. I don't remember.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I do remember that you said that you saw a shadow, like a really tall shadow.
Yeah.
Right?
Tall shadow guy with a top hat.
With a top hat.
Yeah.
Outside of Sarah's room. Because the way that Sarah's room was set up, it was like 2 doors on the side.
Yeah, there's like one up by your bed and one like up by the closet.
And we were sitting and we were kind of facing the one door, and you said that you saw it. And then I started getting this like headache on my forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, well, we went outside and we asked the tour guide, right?
Yeah, and she said it's common that people see tall shadow figures in that hallway.
Because she said that she didn't mention it while we were on the tour, which I thought was really cool, that it does happen, but she just didn't mention it.
Also, we got that weird EVP of like either like the voices lapping or something that happened in Sarah's room.
Yeah. We got that one where we asked how old Sarah was, and something said 10, but it was like a male.
It was like a male, and then there was like voices lapping on the one. It was like almost sounded like Latin or something, very not nice.
Yeah.
And like Sarah's not nice. That was another one we got.
Yeah, and then it also said like a fucking liar or something like that. Well, Sarah. And then so for people who didn't watch the tour, the lady, do you remember who she said? She said some person from a TV show, I don't remember who, came in and he pulled Adam aside, which is the owner, and said that he thought that there was a demonic presence there, and it was what was called a slow burn. And she explained that. And at first I was kind of like, oh, well, maybe not. But I think with all the evidence that we've captured, I think that kind of confirms it, right?
Yeah, I think so too. But also I lean towards how she said the idea of people sort of manifest it themselves. Yeah. That could be another one that I was sort of leaning strongly towards, because like, oh, they want something like a child in this room, so they put child stuff in there. Then, oh, it might be a little mean. So then like it sort of builds based off of that. Yeah. And it was kind of like, she said that there was no record of a Sarah ever being there. And she said that Adam Kimmel, the owner of the building, actually used to investigate prior to owning it. And didn't she say that he was the one that discovered that there was some sort of child there? And then they kind of played into that. Yeah, that's the thing. So like, I wonder if it's something that like got played into so much, it became like, oh, I get more attention if I pretend to be Sarah. Or like something that like became something from everyone thinking it was something. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting idea to think that like because people believed it so much that it kind of like manifested into something. Yeah, it is really creepy to think about. Yeah. There was scratches on the wall when we were in Sarah's room. Yes, there was.
But there was a joke that was made that I don't think everybody got because like we didn't include the first part of the joke. So as we were walking into the building, there was this really big like net like you would use to like catch fish or something, or like maybe like rodents or something like that. And it was sitting next to the door. And I think we both were like, what the hell do they use the net for? Like, haha, that's kind of funny. Like they're not catching ghosts. And we were in the room and I think we were doing an EVP and all of a sudden you just hear this like scratching on the wall. We kind of look at each other and I don't remember who said it, but we were like, maybe there's a raccoon because of the
kind of like make logic of it. Like, oh, it's a raccoon.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. We did a lot of like spirit box and EVP after that initial first spirit box session. But the funny part was all the evidence that we got was within that first like hour of being in the building.
Yeah, I got real silent after that.
Yeah. And the funny part is like, I've been to a lot of places and it never happens like that.
No, it doesn't.
No. So I was like, wow, that was pretty crazy that like right from the beginning, everything kind of happened and then it just died down.
It was like excited to see us, so it just sort of popped off. It's like, oh, they're boring, never mind. And just left.
Yeah. Yeah, they're boring. What are these girls doing?
Yeah, they're fine.
Have you said that you've been to Madison Seminary since then, correct?
Yes, I have. Yes, I brought 2 newbies.
Is there anything that happened on that investigation that you want to share?
Yeah, actually, the one person I brought, big skeptic, believes literally nothing, saw a shadow figure outside of Sarah's room. Same that I saw.
Oh, really?
I never told them about our video. They've never watched it. And she was just like, why is there a shadow figure? There's only 3 of us in here.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? She's like, there's something out there. And there's a picture the one kid took. I was standing with my back towards the closet door, and there's like an 8-foot shadow figure behind me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was cute. And Sarah, a lot from Sarah once again. Because I went and I was like, know what? I'm just going to call out Sarah.
Yeah.
So I did. She answered, and it was the same male voice. And they ran, so I had to find them. And it was just a big thing like that most of the nights.
I remember if you had any like, I don't remember if it was from Madison Seminary, but I remember that you started to have like activity at your house.
Oh my God, I had a scary dream after Madison Seminary. I forgot about
that.
I remember that.
Something happened. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I don't remember the dream exactly because I didn't write it down, but like we were in Madison Seminary, and anytime we tried getting out of the room, I think we just ended up in Sarah's room. Because like I was following you, and it's just like a loop. Like we'd go out the door, and then there's another Sarah's room.
Oh my God! I
was like, Amber, I'm sick of this.
That's super creepy.
Yeah, I did not enjoy that.
Yeah, and I remember that you had activity at the house that you were living in, but I don't know if that was because of Madison Seminary.
I don't know either, because like obviously we do some sketchy stuff sometimes. So,
yeah,
it could have been anything following me home, but like doors would shut and like stuff would fly off the counters, and I would just sort of watch it happen. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Like recently there's a shadow figure in the basement with me, and like I got home from Florida last night and I saw it walk across the doorway, and I was just like, okay, time for bed.
Okay, whatever.
Like, okay, good night, friend, have fun.
That's so funny how like when you're involved in the paranormal and like stuff just happens at your house, you're just like, ugh, whatever, like I don't even care. Or with me normally I'm just like, I don't have time to deal with this. And I'll just go back to what I was doing.
I will say on like our trips, like if anything is gonna happen, like push, scratch or something, it happens to me. Like I got a black eye from West Virginia that one time.
Yeah, I know, that was really weird.
That was, and like I went home and my mom was like, did Amber punch you in the face?
I know. I was like, why would I have punched her?
Yeah, I was like, why would this happen? So like I get attacked more than you get attacked, and I'm
and like that one time that we were downstairs, like we were in the Sugar Shack at the West Virginia.
Oh my gosh.
And you said, was it your ankle that got grabbed?
Yeah. And then
were we in the Sugar Shack, or we were in the hole?
The hole.
The hole.
With the bats.
Yeah. And your ankle got grabbed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why is it never me?
You literally said that out loud. You're like, why does it never happen to me? I'm like, dude, come on. Don't be asking for this.
Don't be asking for it. Is there any like specific moment throughout like any episode that we've ever done that like sticks into your mind as like one of the most memorable moments?
It's just honestly the Madison Seminary EVP Sarah. That's a big one. And the
Yeah.
Sugar Shack when it screamed like something in my face and I heard it and you did it and I swear I was
Yeah.
really hoping you were yelling at me. And like I looked up and you were just on like spirit box.
I think it said more.
It screamed more in my face. And
Yeah, and you can actually, when you go back and you play it, you can actually hear that it's not through the spirit box because you can hear all the waves behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds more like a direct voice.
Yeah, it was like right in front of me and I had the camera and I went, and you were like on your spirit box. And I was like, Amber? And you're like, wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Yeah, because I was like, what did you hear? And you were like, some guy was just screaming. And I was like, I didn't hear that.
And like that like blows me away because like you were maybe like 5 feet away from me. So
Yeah,
like, it wasn't like we were far.
No, it wasn't like we were on the opposite side of the room or anything.
No, and like I couldn't understand how I heard it and you did it. I was like, come on, we're not doing this too.
Yeah. Either that or I'm just deaf.
I mean, what about you, my friend?
I think one of the most memorable moments, well, definitely Madison Seminary is a memorable moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one EVP that we got when we were in West Virginia Penn the first time,
Mm-hmm.
when I kept saying that basically I thought people were gonna like come out and attack us.
Oh yeah.
Like I really felt that whole time, like I just kept going like this around corners because
Mm-hmm.
it really felt like somebody was standing there and they were just waiting for their opportunity to like punch me in the face. Yeah. And I felt like I was on the defensive like the entire time that I was there. And that one EVP that we captured whenever we walked through those weird like bars, I don't remember where we were at. It was the bottom floor of the infirmary or something like that. And we walked through the bars and I flinched and I went, oh my God, it felt like somebody was gonna hit me. Mm-hmm. And then you turn around and you're just like filming and I'm like, dude, that was so weird. And we caught that EVP that said hit her. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the craziest EVP that I've ever captured, like ever. Because my body was reacting to that.
Yeah, and like you didn't hear it obviously at the time. Like that stuff blows me away.
It's so crazy. There is an EVP session from the whole room, the room with a hole in it. What happened when we were down there?
The flashlight started dimming and lighting by itself. Like it was like changing brightness on us. And like we're both pointing at it next to like the tripod because like we didn't have a camera to point at it. And I think we were just talking about that and an EVP about, I don't remember, probably happened.
Yeah. I definitely remember the flashlight was like going off. But I don't remember if you could actually see it on the camera or not. I don't think you could.
Not really. Like if you look down, I think you would sort of see the flashlight changing, but not really. So we're just pointing at it.
Yeah, and the thing, okay, so here's another thing that happened. So the thing was, I was so eager to get everything started that I forgot one of my cameras at home. The primary one that has the light on it.
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I lived about 2 hours from Madison Seminary, so I made my boyfriend drive up and bring me this camera. There's supposed to be that gravesite there, but we never went and did that.
No, because it was like creepy. So wasn't it like up and over the hill somewhere?
Yeah.
Directions. And last time we went to a grave, we got chased. Moundsville, the man on the bike.
Oh my God.
I tell people about that all the time.
So I will include this. So anytime we go to West Virginia, stuff gets crazy.
Literally every time.
Every single time. So the first time we went to West Virginia, we went to Trans-Allegheny. Now, we didn't make an episode for that one because it was a public investigation. So I wasn't really allowed to film. It was like filming for personal use. So we arrive early. You were on this kick about Long John Silver's.
I was.
You were like, I'm obsessed with Long John Silver's.
I love Long John Silver's.
So we're like, let's eat before we go. So we just happened to pass by Long John Silver's and we go inside. We get inside, we're waiting for what seems like forever because the cashier was in a booth, like on her phone. She was like talking.
Yeah, she was like talking to her boyfriend or something in the booth.
I don't know, yeah. And everybody who was working in the back had walked out at one point, but they weren't helping us. And they were kind of like making circles or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we waited like 5 minutes for the lady to come over and take our order. She takes our order. She gives us our drink stuff and we sit down and like, it wasn't a very clean restaurant.
It was utterly disgusting, and like
Yeah,
the food was greasy.
Wasn't the floor like sticky?
It was sticky. It was sticky, and like
there was like stuff underneath the tables or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly how it went down, but the chef who made the food brought over our food and decided that he was going to pull up a chair and sit and talk with us. Which is cool, I guess. Like, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm pretty opposed to it.
But he was like, oh yeah, I can tell that you guys aren't from West Virginia. You don't look like you're from West Virginia. Like, you're much prettier. Like, started hitting on us, like, pretty hardcore. And we're just like staring at each other.
Trying to eat the food.
And he gets up because I don't know, he said he had to go do something or something like that. So we're like eating, and I'm like, Sabrina, this is the worst food I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It was very like waxy.
Yeah, and like you could like squeeze a fry and it would just drip with grease. Like, it was so bad.
And we were like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even want to eat this. Like, the guy comes back over and he's like, where are you going to be tonight? We're like, oh, we're going to Trans-Allegheny. And I was like, I made sure to throw in that there was going to be a lot of people so that way he wouldn't come. I was like, oh yeah, there's going to be like 100 people there. That way he wouldn't come bother us. So he just kept talking and he sat through a good portion of our meal. Mm-hmm. And then at some point he was like, okay, well, I'll leave you guys alone because I can tell that you guys are enjoying the meal. It's the best food, like, under the sun. Like, I can tell that you guys can't stay away from it. Meanwhile, I'm staring at you trying not to laugh because I literally just told you that this is the worst food that I have ever had.
How bad it was.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. And he walks away and me and you were like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
And we're looking for a trash can and we couldn't find one. I'm like, where the hell are we going to throw away our food? And finally, I tell Sabrina, I'm like, fuck it. We'll just take the food with us. We'll throw it away at some other point because we need to get out of here. This guy's creeping me out. Like, we got to go. And for some reason, they put the trash can in between the doors when you exit the restaurant. Yeah. And I think as we were driving away, didn't he come outside?
He came outside and got in his truck. And we were like, oh no. So like we were extra sketched in like West Virginia, man.
Yeah. And then I remember being worried the whole time that he was going to try to show up at Trans-Allegheny. And I was like, oh God, please, like, don't let him break into my car or something like that. But that guy was just super sketchy. I just don't like consistently being hit on and then don't try to pull up a chair and try to
brag about your nasty food.
And then the second time that we had gone to West Virginia Penn, which also was not a featured episode because it was a public event. So after the investigation, we went to the Indian Burial Mound, which is the largest mound in the country. And it just so happens to be right across the street, like literally across the street. And I was like, well, let's go check it out. It's what, 3 o'clock in the morning?
It is literally 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we had just gotten done with the investigation. I'm like, let's go check it out just to say that we checked it out because like I'd probably beat myself up if I didn't.
We were also one of the last ones out too because we were talking to the tour guides.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, we're gonna go check this out. It's like we're like the last car there.
Yeah. So we walk over and I remember hearing like a squeaking noise. And I'm just like, that's really weird. At first I thought it was like a dog barking, like a small dog, like high pitch bark. And we're like, whatever. So we walk over, we're taking pictures. We had a whole ass conversation. We were probably standing there for a good 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And we turn around to go leave. And then all of a sudden we hear the squeaking again. And some guy rolls out of an alley on a bike. And me and you were kind of like, where the fuck did this guy come from? Like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I heard that squeak before, so he's been sitting there the entire time that we were over there watching us.
Well, what's worse is I heard, like, you know how people have wind chimes? I heard those rustle, and I heard like something happened to a door. Then we were over there more, and then I heard that again, and I looked over and saw the man with you. Yeah. I was like, oh gosh, here we go.
So he like pulls out of this alley with his bike, and then he starts chasing us. And I wasn't like freaked out, but then you were like, Amber, run. So we literally bolted to the car. Because I'm thinking the only type of people that are out on a bike at 3 o'clock in the morning are not good people.
No, like by a burial mound and an abandoned prison. Yeah. Like, no, thank you. So we
ran all the way to the car, and as we're getting in the car, I remember looking over my shoulder to see where he was at, and I remember he had this big ass grin on his face.
It was coming right for us.
Yeah, and he was like laughing or something like that as if he was coming towards us, and then as soon as we got in the car, he like dipped and went the other way.
Yeah, and like it was like one of those horror movie moments where like the one person doesn't want to run, but the other person's like, come on. And then like you fumbled with the keys. You were trying to unlock your car, but you couldn't.
I know.
Come on, we're not getting murdered outside of this prison. We're not.
No, we'll be stuck there forever.
I don't want to be stuck in West Virginia.
So now we have this joke because the sign, whenever you go to West Virginia, I don't know if you guys have been there, but it says wild and wonderful. So we're always like, yeah, it's wild and wonderful. Like anytime we go there, like something happens.
It's very traumatic every time. I'm very happy to be going there this Friday because, you know, traumatic.
Traumatic, yeah. Don't stop, middleware. Oh.
Oh my God.
The funny part is I have no other stories like that. It's only from West
Virginia.
Yeah. Only from there, man.
The only other weird thing is when we were in Ohio coming back from somewhere and you got that flat tire and no one had no one had air.
Oh, yeah.
And like the air pumps were all broken and we couldn't put air in your tire.
Where were we coming back from? Fairfield County Infirmary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my tire had been giving me issues, but I had put air in it and it didn't have issues for like a while. And I guess it must have been super cold that night. It was. It was freezing. Yeah. It was really cold. So my tire was like super low. And no matter what friggin' gas station I had gone to, nobody had an air pump. We went to the one and you couldn't get it to work and I couldn't get it to work. And then we went to another one and I didn't have change and it wouldn't take a credit card.
Yeah, and like we were just like, you went inside a store to get change for it and he couldn't do it. And he's like, our pump's not working. Go to the one down to the street where we were just at. And like it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and we're trying to find air for your tire.
Yeah, I was very upset.
And it was so cold and our hands weren't working and it just was not nice.
Yeah. Also, anytime we went to West Virginia, I was super scared of seeing either Bigfoot or the Mothman. Yeah. We constantly we constantly talked about the Mothman like on the way there. Oh my gosh. How about that? I got lost. Remember when we were in West Virginia?
Oh my God. I did the same thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know. Virginia, but I was. And then like I saw Moundsville and I'm like, why am I here? And then I was by that college and did the wrong turn that we always do. And I was like, great, now I'm Amber. I'm going the wrong way.
I went completely the wrong way and I ended up like going down some weird side road and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, like, the cliffs.
Bigfoot's gonna with all the cliffs. Do you remember when we did Trans-Allegheny and we were on the 4th floor and like the investigation had just started? Mm-hmm. What noise did we hear? What was that? Was it a cat?
God. I think it was a cat.
And then I think at one point we heard a pig, right?
Yeah, we heard animal noises the entire time.
Yeah, and this was not during the days that I would run EVP all the time, which kind of sucked. So I hadn't even I wasn't even set up. I think I was getting my camera ready to like start recording and we heard those noises.
Yeah, it was
I was like, what the fuck was that?
Well, also you couldn't really record there because there was that dude in the leather boots that was walking around very heavily everywhere.
Yeah, guys, if you're going to do a public event, please be respectful to everybody else who is on the public event. So don't wear like boots, don't wear like chains that make a lot of noise. because that ruins everybody's EVPs. It does.
really does.
Also, don't try to go to impress a lady. Probably not gonna work.
That was the best thing in the world, though.
I'm sure that's what he was there for, was to try to impress that tour guide.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I think he tossed a quarter down the hallway at one point, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And we had to like mark it on our EVPs or something, or like we got fed up and just stopped at the
He was like, here, take it. He just throws a quarter.
The only thing we got there was that door opening and closing.
Yeah.
But we didn't record it. We got EVP.
Well, we were in the room that the two guys had gotten murdered in.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the pipes.
Yeah. The one that, there were two guys who had some sort of mental issue. And they were murdered in that room by the bedpost, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like I forget exactly because like obviously a hot minute ago, I think it was hung up or something by the pipes.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, they were, I think what happened was they had laid them on the floor or something, and they put the bed frame on top of them, and then they were like jumping on the bed frame or something.
Yeah, there was like a lot that happened with that one.
Yeah. And we were in that room, and our tour guide decided that she was going to do one of those assist method spirit box sessions. Mm-hmm. So she was blindfolded. She had the spirit box in her ears, and I think somebody else had one too. We did that a few different times. But what really happened, like the crazy thing was, there was like major banging on the wall next to us, and the pipes were like, somebody was banging on the pipes, but you could see the pipes in the room. Mm-hmm. And we were all kind of just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? Like,
yeah. And then like in that bathroom where they were doing that one, like they both have spirit boxes with earplugs in, like the earphones. Yeah. Like, I don't know how I feel about that in a way.
Yeah, I really don't know how to feel about that either.
Like, we never thought to try it because like we're chaotic.
Yeah, we don't think of stuff like that.
Don't.
We're not innovative. We're very generic.
I mean, we try.
Yeah. There was like, I remember there being like 4 different spirit boxes going. They were using mine as the primary one for everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. With like nobody with headphones. And then there were like 3 other people with headphones that were in the corner. Mm-hmm. Or like in different areas of the room. And they would all kind of like blurt out what they thought they heard. But I know with me, sometimes I don't hear spirit box like as it's going. I have to kind of like go back and listen to it. So I don't know how I feel about that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm very like, I don't get that right away.
No, I don't either. Like,
you're planning on making a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I am. Once I, get myself put together here.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you know, you probably don't know what it's going to be called.
Well, probably just Sabrina Paranormal. Probably just, keep it going with that.
Well, I will keep the folks updated on when you're going to be doing that, so that way we can do like a shout out for you. Oh, I feel like people would really be interested in like your adventures too.
We're both a little stupid.
Yeah. No, not because you're stupid.
We're both a little stupid at this stuff, Amber. Come on.
So they might enjoy that. But thank you for chatting.
Anytime, my friend.
I know. We can do all sorts of different episodes if we wanted to. If we can actually remember like what went down.
Dude, I know. Like, we have to like do a catch up, like watch it first, then do this.
Because next time we'll have to watch it and then we can talk about it, because I'm like, what happened? I don't even remember.
I was like, I remember, but also I don't. And then I was there after, so I'm like, oh crap, what happened with who?
Yeah, like you don't want to get confused.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, definitely give it like a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Remember that subscribing means so much to me. The paranormal is definitely something that I am fully invested in, and I really enjoy doing it. And by subscribing, you are ensuring that I get to continue that dream of sharing the paranormal with you guys, and that means so much to me, so thank you. Definitely let me know what you guys thought was super scary out of that episode. If you guys like this video, let me know. It's possible that I could do more behind the scenes videos if you guys want. I'm not sure if you'll like that or not, but if you guys want to see that, definitely let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.